So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of the Shield Dude on a Couch. And today's Friday, and it's Friday, and not only any Friday, it's Good Friday if you celebrate that sort of stuff. So, growing up for me, I went to Catholic school, so I kind of had to celebrate it. I had no choice. And what better way to celebrate this day than to talk about classic 90s sounding death metal? I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, today we're talking about the fourth album by the band LIk, and it's called Necro, and it's out today on Metal Blade Records. And this is an album that, if you like bands like At the Gates and that old school death metal from the 90s, they never disappoint. This is their follow-up to their 2020 album, which was when I first actually discovered this band. And this is an album that has 10 tracks. I think it's like a 40-minute in length. So it's not a very super long album, but also not that short. And this is an album that they have two singles that they released. And I think when I listened to the whole album, so the 10 tracks, and I'm like, yeah, they could have picked, this album is so strong that they could have picked any song as singles, but they chose two songs, War Praise and Morg's Wrath. And I think both are great examples of why they are singles. So for example, War Praise, it's got that really evil sounding riff, and it's a pretty fast, aggressive song, and it reminds you of like a band like At the Gates. It's really good, and I know why they picked it as a single. And Morg's Wrath, I think I enjoyed it a little bit more. First of all, love the bass start to that song. It's so great. And then you get the full death metal kicks in. And again, I'm reminded of a band like At the Gates. So a little bit of context on this album. They recorded the music in 3 days. That's right, just like Jesus. Came back to life 3 days. You see what I did there? Do not be offended, religious people. So it's just a harmless joke. So yeah, they recorded this in 3 days, but the vocals were recorded after, and they did it with producer Lawrence McRory, which I think they had worked before with him. So it's pretty impressive that they got to do this in 3 days, the music. So musically, besides the two singles, there's a few tracks that stand out to me. I love the beginning song. It's called Disease, and this has a very aggressive start, a very relentless assault of guitar and drums. The drumming here is pretty fast, and there's a part where there's like a scream that's really gets you with this song. And of course, they're talking about typical death metal subject, death, war. So they're not writing about anything that hasn't been written before, but they do it really good. So that's a great one. Another song that stands out for me is the third song, and it's called Day. This is, I think, my favorite track on this record. It has a very Slayer type of riff, but more death metal. And I like where they're like day. There's a part where they say day a lot, and they're telling about someone who's causing all kinds of trouble. So that's a great track, both lyrically and musically. And you have obviously fun tracks and very pumping, like Worms Inside, Shredding to Pieces, which is the shortest track. But it has some relentless drumming to it. That one's only 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Then you have songs like In Ruins that feature a little bit more of singing on the song in a part, but obviously then death metal vocals. You got more pummeling with Fields of Death, and they finished the album with Rotten Inferno, which is the longest track on the record at 5 minutes and 41 seconds. And this one is a more mid-tempo song. It takes its time building up to the epic finale, and it ends with a piano at the end, which I felt was a pretty way to end an otherwise classic, relentless 90s style death metal. So Yeah, this album is, it's a fun record. It sounds great. The production on it, every instrument is clearly. And if you want to know more about this album, I actually talked to Chris, the drummer from LIk, and we talked about this album, the making of the album, some of the themes, and a little bit more. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of LIk-Necro, out today on Metal Blade Records? If you're itching for some classic 90s death metal, do not sleep on this album by LIk. So comment down below what are your favorite tracks from this record, and let me know about other maybe death metal albums that you are listening to right now. So if you like the videos, please give me a like, please subscribe, share this with people. That helps the YouTube algorithm so I can get to more people like yourself. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on the couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.